Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're looking ahead, way ahead.
Okay.
We're going to be considering what our solar system might look like 1,000 years from now,
Wow.
a millennium.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And we came across this really interesting YouTube video titled The Solar System in the Next 1,000 Years from a channel called 1402 Light Years. So we thought we'd take a look at this idea a little more closely.
All right, so 1,000 years in the future of our solar system, what do we think?
I mean, 1,000 years is like almost impossible to really wrap your head around. Just think
Yeah,
about
no.
how much has happened in the last 100 years. I mean,
Yeah.
we've gone from like barely being able to fly to sending robots to Mars. It's mind-blowing.
That's right. From the Wright brothers to rovers on Mars. Incredible.
Oh, exactly. So
Yeah.
who knows what the next 1,000 years will bring. But what do you think are some of the biggest changes we might see in the solar system over that time?
Well, first of all, I think we can expect some pretty major advancements in space exploration technology. Think about the progress we made in the last century. Now imagine that trend continuing for another 10 centuries.
Wow.
It's mind-boggling.
Okay, but what does that actually look like?
Yeah.
I mean, are we talking like flying cars and teleportation or?
Well, maybe not quite that far. But, I mean, we could potentially be looking at permanent settlements on Mars mining operations in the asteroid belt. Maybe even missions to the moons of Jupiter and Saturn.
Whoa, hold on. That's like full-on sci-fi stuff right there.
It is, but it's not entirely outside the realm of possibility. I mean, we're already sending probes to those moons. And with 1,000 years worth of technological advancements, who knows what we could achieve?
But building like a Martian colony, that's got to be crazy difficult. What are some of the challenges we'd have to overcome to actually live on another planet?
You're right. It's a massive undertaking. We'd need to figure out things like how to create a breathable atmosphere, how to grow food in Martian soil, how to protect ourselves from radiation. The list goes on and on.
So it's not just about getting there. It's about surviving once we're there.
Exactly. It's about creating a sustainable human presence beyond Earth. And that's a huge challenge, both technologically and socially.
But you'd have to decide, like, who gets to go to Mars?
Yeah.
And what kind of society they're going to build? What laws would they follow? It gets really complicated really fast.
It does. And that's what makes this so fascinating. Thinking about the future isn't just about predicting what will happen. It's about grappling with the implications of those possibilities.
Now that you mention it, our source also talked about the possibility of discovering new objects in our solar system, like Planet 9.
Yes, Planet 9, the mysterious hypothetical planet lurking in the outer reaches of our solar system.
Okay, so what is this Planet 9 all about? I gotta admit, I'm kind of intrigued.
Well, basically, astronomers have observed some strange gravitational anomalies in the orbits of objects beyond Pluto. It's as if something massive is tugging on them from the shadows.
So they think there might be another planet out there that we haven't actually seen yet.
Exactly. It's like a cosmic game of hide and seek. And Planet 9 is doing a really good job of hiding.
But you think in 1,000 years we might have telescopes powerful enough to finally spot it?
It's definitely possible. I mean, telescopes have come a long way in the last century. Imagine the kind of instruments we'll have in a millennium.
That would be incredible. Okay, so we've talked about planets. What about comets? Will they still be zapping around the solar system in 1,000 years?
Well, comets do have a limited lifespan every time they pass. Close to the sun, they lose some of their ice and dust.
Right, so they eventually just kind of fizzle out?
Yeah, pretty much. But here's the thing. Our solar system has these vast reservoirs of icy bodies called the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud. And every now and then, one of these objects gets knocked out of its orbit and falls towards the sun, becoming a brand new comet.
So even 1,000 years from now, we might still see new comets lighting up the night sky.
Exactly. The cosmic show must go on.
I like that. Okay, so now for the big question. What about the sun? What happens to it in the next 1,000 years?
The sun. The star of the show. Well, 1,000 years is a blink of an eye for the sun, but it's still long enough for some noticeable changes to occur.
I've heard that the sun is gradually getting hotter and brighter. Is that true? And what does that mean for us here on Earth?
That's right. The sun is slowly but surely increasing in luminosity, meaning it's emitting more energy. And yeah, that does have implications for Earth and the other planets.
Like, what kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, for starters, it means that Earth will continue to warm up. We're already seeing the effects of climate change, and the sun's increasing luminosity will only exacerbate those effects.
So are we going to be living in a tropical paradise or a scorching desert in 1,000 years?
Well, it's hard to say for sure. Climate models are complex, and there are many factors at play. but it's safe to say that the sun's evolution is something we need to pay attention to.
It really makes you realize how interconnected everything is in the solar system.
Absolutely. The planets, the sun, the comets, they're all part of this intricate cosmic dance.
Yeah, well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the future, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to ponder?
I think the main thing to remember is that the solar system is a dynamic and evolving place, even over a time scale of 1,000 years. We can expect to see significant changes.
And even though 1,000 years seems like an eternity, it's really just a small step in the grand cosmic scheme of things.
That's a great way to put it.
So to everyone listening, I'll leave you with this thought. Imagine yourself 1,000 years from now looking back at today. What do you think would surprise you most about how our solar system has changed? Thanks for joining us on this journey to the future. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.